Hi, I'm Olivia from Wilkinson Cameras, and today we're diving into one of the most exciting releases from Nikon, the Z6 III. If you're familiar with the Nikon Z series, you know just how well these cameras perform, but the Z6 III takes things up a notch with some pretty impressive upgrades. So I actually recently took the Z6 III to Dunham Massey in Manchester to really put it through its paces. I captured lots and lots of sample footage of the deers. I got some low light examples in the house, and I did actually take it around the garden, so we've got some really nice close-up shots. But before we dive into the footage, let's just break down what makes the Z6 III stand out, especially if you're considering an upgrade or debating between this and other models like the Z8, Canon EOS R6 Mark II, or the Sony A7 IV. So let's start with what's new and exciting about the Z6 III. At the heart of this camera is a partially stacked 24.5 megapixel full frame sensor. Now, for those of you who might be wondering what partially stacked means, it essentially refers to the sensor's design, which allows for faster data readout, reducing issues like rolling shutter distortion during fast action shots. This is a big deal if you're shooting high-speed subjects like wildlife or sports. This sensor is paired with the Nikon's XP7 processor, the same powerhouse that drives the higher-end Z8 and Z9. This combination really cranks up the performance, particularly when it comes to autofocus and image processing. But what does that mean in practice? Well, you're going to get faster and more accurate autofocus, smoother video, and an overall snappier experience when you're out in the field. One of the first things I noticed during my shoots at Dunham Massey was just how responsive the autofocus system is. Nikon has really fine-tuned its subject detection and tracking algorithms. The Z6 III can lock onto eyes, whether it's people, animals or birds, and keep them in focus, even when they're moving in and out of complex lighting environments like dapple sunlight or deep shadows. To give you an example, while I was tracking deer in a shaded area of the park, the Z6 III managed to consistently find and hold focus on their eyes, even as they moved through patches of light and shadow. This kind of reliability is crucial, especially for wildlife photographers who can't afford to miss a shot when the subject is on the move. And speaking of challenging conditions, the Z6 III's low light performance is another area where this camera really shines. The sensor's ISO range goes all the way down to -10 EV, which means it can practically see in the dark. This makes it an excellent choice for shooting in low light environments without having to worry about excessive noise or loss of detail. Now, let's talk about video for a moment. The Z6 III offers 6K raw video straight from the camera, which is great for filmmakers who want maximum control in post-production. If you prefer a more traditional workflow, you can also shoot in a 5.4K or 4K UHD, which is oversampled from 6K, meaning you're getting incredibly detailed and sharp footage. I shot some video of nature and wildlife at Dunham Massey, and the level of detail and dynamic range really did blow me away. One thing I appreciated during the shoot was how the camera handled transitions between light and shadow. Whether I was filming in bright midday sun or under the shade of the trees, the Z6 III managed to retain detail across the frame with no noticeable loss of information in the highlights or the shadows. This is crucial when you're trying to capture the full range of tones in a scene. But let's not forget about the electronic viewfinder, or EVF, which Nikon has really upped the game on the Z6 III. It's the brightest EVF in its class and is the first mirrorless camera to feature an EVF with a wide DCI P3 colour gamut. For those of you who might not be familiar, the DCI P3 colour space is typically used in digital cinema, so you're seeing extremely wide range of colours while you're shooting. This makes a huge difference, especially when you're working in varied lighting conditions and need to make sure your colours are spot on. During my time at Dunham Massey, I found that the EVF really helped me judge the exposure and colours more accurately on the spot, rather than having to rely on post-processing to correct things later on. This is especially useful for wildlife and nature photographers who want to get the shot right in camera and minimise time spent in editing process. Another feature I found incredibly useful during my time with the Z6 III is the seamless switch between the stills and video modes. This camera lets you set your video settings separately from your still settings, which means when you switch back and forth, you're not constantly changing your settings and readjusting everything. It's a real game changer, especially when you're covering a lot of content in a short period of time, like I was at Dunham Massey. I could quickly switch to video to capture some smooth 6K footage of the deer in log, and then jump right back to stills without losing any of my previous settings, and obviously not with log applied. This level of convenience really makes the Z6 III stand out for hybrid shooters. Another standout feature for still shooters is the Z6 III's ability to shoot at up to 120 frames per second with full autofocus and exposure tracking. This is paired with a pre-release capture mode, which means the camera actually starts capturing frames as soon as you half press the shutter button, even before you fully commit to the shot. This feature is pretty perfect for capturing those split-second moments that are easy to miss, like the exact moment a deer takes off running or a bird takes flight. Now let's dive a bit deeper into how the Z6 Mark III compares to some of its competitors, starting with Nikon's own Z8. The Z8 is definitely a powerhouse with its 45.7 megapixel sensor and faster burst rates, but it's also larger, heavier and more expensive. If you're a professional needing the highest resolution and fastest speeds, the Z8 might be the better choice in this situation. But for most photographers and videographers, the Z6 Mark III offers a more compact, lightweight option that still delivers top-tier performance without the bulk. When I was shooting at Dunham Massey, I really appreciated the Z6 III's portability. It was easy to carry around all day without feeling weighed down, which is a big plus if you're hiking or traveling. And while the Z8 has some impressive specs, the Z6 Mark III's combination of features and form factor makes it a more versatile choice for those who don't need the absolute maximum in resolution. Moving on to the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, this is a solid competitor. Canon is known for its fast and reliable autofocus, and the R6 II is no exception. It might have a slight edge over the Z6 III when it comes to autofocus speed, especially with moving subjects. However, in my tests, I found that the Z6 III offers better low light performance and a superior dynamic range, which can make a big difference when shooting in less than ideal conditions. Another area where the Z6 III stands out is its EVF. The R6 II's viewfinder is good, but the Z6 III's EVF with its ultra-wide colour gamut gives you a more accurate preview of your shot, which is especially useful when working in challenging lighting or when colour accuracy is critical. Finally, let's talk about the Sony a7 IV. Sony has really established itself as a leader in mirrorless market, and the a7 IV is an excellent all-rounder. It offers a slightly higher resolution at 33 megapixels, and it's known for its reliable autofocus and video capabilities. However, the Z6 III's video features, especially the ability to shoot 6K RAW, give it an edge for video-centric creators, plus Nikon's ergonomics and menu system might appeal more to those who prefer a more intuitive, traditional shooting experience. But during my test, I found that the Z6 III's handling and menu system were a bit more user-friendly, and especially for photographers transitioning from DSLR to mirrorless cameras. The a7 IV is still a fantastic camera, but if you're someone who values ease of use and a streamlined workflow, the Z6 III might be the better choice. Launching at $2,699, the Z6 III positions itself as a strong contender within Nikon's current lineup, striking a balance between the advanced Z8 and other mid-range models. This price point showcases Nikon's effort to deliver high-end features such as a partially stacked 24.5 megapixel sensor and a 6K RAW video, at a more accessible level. The camera is also available in kits with the Z24-70 f4S lens. It's launching at $3,249. For the Z24-120mm f4S lens, it's launching at $3,539. For those seeking extended battery life, the optional Nikon Power battery grip, the MBN14, is available at an additional cost of $349. Obviously, these are the launch prices and they might change over time, so please check out the links in the description box for the latest pricing. So, what's the verdict? The Nikon Z6 III is a powerful and versatile camera that bridges the gap between professional and enthusiast levels. Whether you're a still shooter, a videographer, or someone who does a bit of both, this camera offers a ton of flexibility without compromising on quality. With its impressive autofocus, excellent low light performance, and advanced video features, it's a solid choice for someone looking to up their game. Thanks so much for joining me today. I know today's a relatively short video, but it is just the first looks video. But if you did enjoy this review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Wilkinson Cameras for more camera and lens reviews, and drop any questions that you have about the Z6 III in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think, but we'll see you very soon.